loud. Sorry.
We
had a couple gals that weren't able to make it, and they really wanted to hear you speak. So.
Oh, I got you. Two, if anyone has, questions as I'm going along or something doesn't fully make sense, don't be afraid to stop me. I'm not the greatest speaker ever, obviously, but I'll try my best. So the first year that I rodeoed with Matt Sherwood, and I was lucky enough to rope with him. He had been a 2-time world champion before I roped with him, and I kind of knew him when I was in high school, and he luckily gave me the chance and obviously thought I was good enough to try to rodeo with me my rookie year. And so I guess that's where it started. After my mission was my rookie year. I'd had kind of a half a year after my mission to kind of practice and get back into things. And then that next year I started rodeoing with Matt. And we just started in like January. That's kind of when the biggest part of the year starts, is in January. And I just remember I was so grateful that I was able to rope with, a guy that had kind of been there and done that at first. I mean, obviously I'd rodeoed a little bit before and probably knew more than I thought I knew about the game and things like that. But he just really helped me to understand, entering and getting around and I guess kind of just the game and certain things that I didn't really know as a rookie, and he just had a lot of faith in me, that I was good enough. And so right off the bat, it just gave me a lot of confidence, starting to rodeo in January. And it was honestly kind of unbelievable because we started winning right away. Like, we started doing pretty good at the first few we went to, and it kind of went through the winter. We kept doing pretty good and we had a bunch, quite a bit won by kind of the end of winter. And so, and like normally to make the national finals, like that's the big show, the Super Bowl of rodeo. I mean, that's, I guess, what everyone's goal is, like if you're going to rodeo. And kind of coming out of the winter, if you have 10,000 to 20,000 won, that's pretty dang good. And I think that first year, my rookie year, we had maybe almost 18,000 kind of going into spring after winter, and that was already kind of, I don't know, maybe 10th or so in the standings. And so as a rookie, I was just like, I almost couldn't believe it, like it's my first year and here I am being able to be in the top however many. And so it just gave me even more confidence, I guess, going into spring. And then I guess kind of a back story on Matt, my partner that I was roping with that year. He isn't the greatest horseman. And I guess what I mean by that is he had just a couple good horses that kind of helped him get his championships. And, he didn't train very many horses other than that. And I mean, obviously kind of understood it, but I mean, that's something I really strived for growing up, and my dad giving me the opportunity with the ranch there that you've all obviously seen, and all the horses and opportunities we have there. So I really worked on my horsemanship a lot, growing up, and appreciated good horses and how it helped you to be able to win and things at rodeos. And Matt, he was just different. He kind of had his few and, used them almost like tools. I mean, not like he wasn't good to them, but he didn't train and just didn't understand having horses coming up, is you're competing. If you don't have a young one coming up and, thinking mentally of what horse am I going to ride next, or what about next year? If you're not already planning, you're behind. And so Matt, part of us roping was he needed to ride my horse too, because I had a black head horse that he liked, and honestly, that's what he rode a lot that first winter, and that we won on. And I guess so. Anyway, so that kind of ties everything together. And then going into summer, So obviously we did pretty good over winter. He'd been riding my horse. Going into summer, you know, I was really excited and, you know, I guess pumped to be going and to have done as good as we were. And then summer was just tough. It was honestly, it was like a 180 from how the winter had been. It was just tough. Like he was struggling. There was times I would struggle and miss, you know what I mean? And like you could just slowly start to see us kind of drop in the standings through, shoot, I don't know, August or so. You know, we would win enough here and there and catch, but it was just tough. It was a grind, you know? And so mentally it got harder because we hadn't done as good as we did in the winter. You know, he still was riding my horse, but he was kind of doubting that. He was trying other horses kind of the whole summer, trying to find one that he liked, you know, that he could buy and use. And so it was just, I guess, tougher mentally. And I'd obviously been, you know, I'd competed a lot before that. And so I realized, I guess, my fundamentals, you know, of needing to just grind it out and to just, you know, we still have a shot, but I mean, it's hard out there to like rodeoing to try to be positive because I mean, we pay for our own fees, you know, we pay for our own fuel. We pay to keep our horses, you know, sound and healthy. I mean, we try to get sponsors to help out with whether it's product, whether it's, you know, he added money to help get you down the road. But it's just hard because it's not like a lot of other sports where, you know, you get paid to do it. You have to come up with the funds yourself. And if you don't win or have sponsors or other things, you know, you're pretty much not able to go. And I've had, you know, a few times in my career where it was kind of like that. Like, it's like we weren't doing as good as we should be wanting to go. It's just we weren't doing good. It didn't make sense to keep going. Like, just go home, go back to the ranch, regroup. And so I guess that's part of the mental aspect that I've had to deal with, I guess, year in and year out. But playing into roping with Matt that first year, I don't know, it was just tough, I guess, because it was new and I'd never actually rodeoed. Because, I mean, I'd maybe gone to, I don't know, 20 rodeos a year before then. And that my rookie year, you go to like 85 rodeos for the whole year is what they let you count. And you might even go to a few more, you know, if they're along the way or whatnot. And so anyways, basically my rookie year, it came down to the last few rodeos. So the top 15 in the heading and the heeling make the finals in Las Vegas. And I think with the last 2 weeks, we were kind of right on what they call the bubble. We were like, we'd go to 15 maybe for a couple of days or for that week. And then we'd lose a little ground and maybe have a bad few rodeos and drop to 16th, 17th. And so it was just down to the wire that last year. And I guess one thing that I wish before my rookie year, I guess sooner, is as soon as we started in January, I wish I would have realized as a rookie that it was possible to make the national finals. You know, I think after we did pretty good over the winter, I obviously started to realize that, because I'm like, wow, we did better than I thought we even would. You know, we can make Vegas, we can make the finals, and I can do this. But I really think if I would have thought that in January, it might have been the help that would have helped me make it the first year, because it came down to the last rodeo. It was between us and two other teams, and actually all three of us placed in the last rodeo, and everyone just placed a little bit higher than me. And so I was 16th that year. I didn't make it. I was luckily blessed enough to win what they call the rookie of the year or whatever, and I got, you know, a buckle and a few sponsors from that. And so that was great, and that was honestly my goal. That was my goal when I started out, was to win rookie of the year. And so it felt good to accomplish that, but obviously we were so close. I was so close to making the national finals, for the big money and the lights and, what I've dreamed of since I was young. But I guess, it was still good. I accomplished my goal. And actually one other thing too was Matt, he actually made it. So he made it. I think he was 15th with one of the other guys, because they just do it on money earned, heading and heeling. Like, they don't do it together as a team as far as who qualifies. And so my partner Matt actually roped with another guy that year, my rookie year, and then it was still pretty cool to be down there and watch him, and I guess realize that I helped him make the finals. And he's got a big family. He has 7 kids, and so it was positive that I realized I helped him make it, and be able to be better off financially and stuff. And so that really helped me. But it was dang sure a bum. It was kind of a kick in the teeth, that I was that close and wasn't able to make it. But I think honestly, it's helped my career in the long run, because it taught me how to be a good loser. I knew how to lose because I've rodeoed. It can be ruthless ever since I was, in junior high. But I guess it fully set in on the highest level of how to lose, and how to just realize, that's not what everything is about. There's bigger picture to life. There's always another rodeo. There's always things we can take from everything. And so I guess, honestly, looking back, I'm grateful for that, and I think it helped me be able to really be a true sportsman, I guess. So that's my first year rodeo. I'm sorry if I kind of got on a rant, but those are kind of the few things I learned from that year. Can everyone still hear me? Yeah. Okay, perfect. And so I guess going on the second year at rodeo, it'll be just pretty brief. I roped with Matt Sherwood again, the same guy. We end up making the finals. Actually, I think I went to the finals the next year, I think maybe 13th out of 15, and he was 14 or something, however it was. But it was funny. The year kind of went similar. We did really good over the winter again, because Matt, I don't know if it's just where he does good at, but like he does good in the winter when there was all the small buildings, and it's like we kept winning good over the next winter, and kind of struggled here and there through the summer. And one thing I did learn, and obviously remember from my rookie year, the previous year, was just every steer counts. I mean, don't take it for granted. Every steer counts, whether it's the first rodeo, the 50th rodeo, the 80th rodeo. You need to treat them the same mentally. And for me, it helped me so much to just take every steer serious, and whether, everyone's going to mess up, everyone's going to, fall short, but trying to have that in my mind, that every steer counted. And I think that really helped me to be able to make the finals that first time. Because Matt, he struggled with horses a little here and there for the second year, and honestly, like, not bragging, but honestly, he was kind of almost the short link. Like, he would mess up more, which is fine. And that's part of being a partnership. You have to work together and just build one another up and be positive, if you're in it. And if it's not working, you have to be honest and say, hey, we need to maybe cut ties here or do something different, or, you know what I mean? And so I got used to just trying to make sure I caught every steer. Like, if he turned him, I mean, I was just trying to just be gritty and just do whatever it took to catch every steer that he turned. Obviously I fell short, but that mentally helped me, like, just to kind of have that eye of the tiger, to just bear down and to do it. And luckily we made the finals that second year, and we were blessed enough to I don't know, we win. a couple go rounds and place a few other times. I think at the finals we ended up winning like 70 or 80,000. So it was a great year. You know, I'd made my childhood dream. It was because that was my ultimate goal, I guess, even as a kid, you know, growing up, watching tapes. Lindsay can vouch that. I mean, that's all I thought about sometimes, you know, was just being able to do that. And it's what I loved and had a passion for. And so it was just cool because it, you know, at that moment, it had all paid off, you know, and it was just kind of a surreal feeling. So anyway, I was super blessed to do that. And then the next year I changed partners. Matt, he was still kind of struggling with horses. I loved him. You know, there was no hard feelings there. It's just part of business, part of rodeo. And I thought I was going to rope with another guy that I knew a little bit that roped good. He'd been to the finals. We went to a few over the winter, didn't really work out. He just kind of had other opportunities. And so I just kind of went home, and then rodeoed with a friend over the summer. Didn't really, you know, kind of tried obviously to do the best we could, kind of realized, you know, the national finals wasn't in our cards, but just kind of rodeoed around home because they have what's called like a circuit. So within everyone's area or a few states, there's what they call a circuit. And then they have like a circuit finals for them and, you know, a standings there. And so we just kind of did that and stayed around home. And then the following year, I believe it was 18. That's when I roped with Ren Richard. And he's from Utah. I've known him, I want to say he even was a senior in high school when I was a freshman. So I knew him pretty well. And his family, I guess just kind of background, his family, they're decently wealthy, you know, super nice people. But, I mean, he was kind of a superstar in high school playing football. He honestly could have had a good scholarship playing football, after high school, but wanted to rodeo. That was kind of his dream. His dad was into rodeo, to horses. And so right out of high school, or I think even his senior year, he was 18. And when you're 18, that's when you can professional rodeo. And so, you know, he was after it. He'd rodeo, you know, right after high school, and, you know, done decent. And he calf ropes as well too. So he does 2 events in rodeo. And he, you know, so right after he graduated, started rodeoing, you know, I'd gone on my mission after high school and stuff. And so he'd been rodeoing the whole time, but never. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're good. But he'd never made the finals. You know, his goal was to make the finals, but he never had. And so, and it'd been, I don't know, he'd been rodeoing. Yeah, it was almost, I think it was 9 or 10 years he'd been rodeoing, and he'd been kind of wanting to rope with me for, I don't know, a year or two before, but, you know, I'd been roping with Matt, and they'd even paid world champs to rope with him. You know what I mean? And just trying to get him there. His dad kind of had a hope and a dream as much as he did, honestly, and they had money. And so that's kind of how it was. And so he wanted to rope in 18. You know, I practiced with him a little bit the fall before, you know, and it seemed good. And I was able to haul with them quite a bit too. You know, that was kind of part of, I guess, our deal. You know, I was able to go with him and his wife just for, you know, as far as traveling expenses. And so that was great. But so we started going that winter, and, you know, it went all right, and he has good horses and stuff, but it was just funny. There was just so many naysayers when I roped with him. You know, there were just so many people that were just like, man, he's paid world champs to rope with him. He's done this, he's done that. His dad's bought him everything. You know, he can't make it. Like, how is he going to make it with you? You know what I mean? And just a lot of naysayers. Not that they meant to be that negative, but there was, you know. And it was funny because the more naysayers there were, the more it just pushed me. I was like, honestly, in other words, I was like, you bastards, like I'm gonna get him there. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like it drove me. I'm like, you want to say no, frick, whatever, go ahead, because like we're doing it. And it was funny, even through the first part of that year and that spring, we didn't do great, but I just kept telling Ren, I'm like, we're gonna do it. Like, we're here to make the finals. Like, you're gonna do it. You're gonna make it in the calf roping. And I honestly was just over. I would just try to be excited about it and just have fun, and just say, hey, we can do this. Because I mean, that's how I'm naturally a pretty fun, happy-go-lucky, not worry about it kind of person. At least I like to think I am, and Ren, it was, the first few years he rodeoed, it was his dad breathing down his neck, this and that. And, so I knew it was tough for him just to kind of let loose and just, just to let it happen and just to trust your practice, trust your preparation, And so I guess my goal to help, I guess both of us obviously was to, help him with that. And honestly, I really enjoyed rodeoing with him. Like he has his wife, and they'd had a little daughter that was, I don't know, a year old then, and they went with us quite a bit. And so it was just fun, honestly. It was fun, and we didn't do great all the time, kind of going into middle of summer. But, we did decent, just kind of kept plugging along and knew we were close enough to keep going, And then I think it got to, it was July. I think it was in July, and man, we just kind of struggled for a couple, 3 weeks. We'd been losing a little bit of ground too. People were pulling away in the standings a little bit. And, I was trying to stay positive, but at that point it was kind of getting hard. It was like, man, we've been doing decent, but, and it wasn't like anything, that anyone said or had happened. It's just, I'd done it for a few years. So I realized, if we're not kind of at this mark, it's not really worth going. Like, I would rather go back to the ranch, not waste my time, not waste any money, if we're not going to be able to make the national finals. And so in July, that had kind of crossed my mind. I hadn't talked to Ren at all yet. But I was trying to just stay positive, and we were entered through like August, and I think we're in Napa, Idaho. It was one of the big rodeos, and I had actually done there good with Matt, I think maybe both years. So like, I really liked the rodeo, done good, and I think part of why Ren and I were able to do good is because like, I really did like that rodeo. Like, I think just that little bit of positiveness with the negative of kind of what had been happening, about me maybe thinking about just, hey, sorry, Ren, I can't do it. I got to go home. It's not worth it to me. And honestly, I was probably, if we didn't do good at those next few rodeos and after Napa, I was going to tell him like, hey, I might be going home, but luckily we were so lucky or blessed, or however you want to say it. I think we took second overall at Napa, second or third, and won, I don't know, 7,000-8,000, and it was just that boost that we kind of needed. And as far as our confidence and stuff, and it just helped me right there too, because I was kind of faltering, kind of getting let down, and that was just the boost I needed, and after that, I'm like, you know what, we're going to do it. We're going to see it through. We're going to see all these naysayers through, and that's kind of how I remember it. And after that, like August that year, it's like we couldn't miss almost. Like, we caught so many steers. We won just consistent checks. Like, it just started to be easier. It was fun again. That mental toughness that it is hard to kind of take sometimes just got easier. Obviously when things are going good, it's positive, you're winning, it's easier. It's the tough times, the part we're not winning, we're not doing good, that it's hard. And so yeah, August was really good. It actually came down kind of to the last few rodeos for us as well. We did pretty good, and then it was kind of funny. I mean, I don't know if I'd even tell Ren this, but when it came down to the last 10 or so rodeos, we were in a pretty good spot. We were, 14th, 15th, right there. it was really our game if we just kind of capitalized the last, 8 or 10 rodeos. But it was funny just how, like, you could tell Ren was just like mentally it was hard for him because he'd been close a couple times. Like, he'd been 17th or 18th a few times, maybe even 16th one year, and so those last few rodeos you could just tell, like, kind of his persona, and and you could tell he was kind of stressing about stuff, because I mean he wanted to make it so bad. And he messed up on a few and stuff. And I just tried to just same deal, like, hey, we got it, we got it. And it actually came down to the last 2 rodeos again that year. And we placed at the one, and I don't even know what happened to the last one, but anyway, it came down to the last few. Honestly, we ended the last rodeo we went to was in Texas. We ended there, and we're just driving home, and we still didn't even know if we made it, because like it was that close as far as money and who had placed. And I don't know, it was 4 or 5 hours later, and we finally knew, or it was official that we'd made it. And it was a great feeling, and it was funny. I got a call from Ren's dad, and he was just, so excited and grateful. And I don't know, it was just cool, and it was cool, like, to smirk and say, you know what, all those people that thought it couldn't be done, that thought I couldn't do it, it paid off, and I could do it, and I could help him make it to the finals. And that was I guess a big stepping block in my life and my career as a roper. And I'm grateful for that. And, I love Ren and his family. And so, we made it and had a decent finals. It wasn't as amazing as we would have hoped, but was pretty good, And then honestly, since 18, I kind of went to heading, and, because I was healing for those first few years I made the finals, and I love training head horses. And so I switched ends to heading, shortly after that. And that's a whole nother battle. Heading to me is just, it's just harder, because heading you have to give the steer a head start. Where healing, you just come out and you got to rope the back feet. And obviously it's hard because they're moving and whatnot, but heading at a professional level is just, it's almost just more pressing, just because, like, you have to score, you have to give the steer a head start. If you miss, your healer doesn't get to rope or get to throw, and so that's been fun. I obviously headed a lot growing up and stuff, so it's not like it was new, but it's just something I wanted to do, and if everything's right, I can hopefully make the finals heading. I mean, that's my goal and what I would love to do. But I do love being at the ranch. I love training horses. I love having fun and enjoying what I love. And I guess as a whole, I've just learned so many things about perseverance and working hard, because in this industry and what I do, you get out of it what you put into it. I mean, bottom line, money can't buy wins. It takes work, it takes, perseverance, you just pushing through. There's days when you don't want to do it, or when you don't want to go ride these horses because they're not heads and you don't like them, but you just got to push through. And just hard work is what I've learned so much. And obviously from my dad, but the biggest thing too, I found is far in life, or even with rodeoing too, is balance. Just having balance. You have to work hard, you have to persevere, but if you don't have that little bit of personal time, if you don't have spiritual, if you don't have all these ingredients that help you to progress, to be positive, to get somewhere, it's harder, because you get focused on certain things or letting other things go. And I know that for me in my life, that's been a battle too, just trying to have balance, trying not to do something too much, or let other things slip and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's mostly what I had. Sorry if it was was a rant, or whatnot. But I guess if anyone has questions, or Lindsay, I don't know, anything else you'd like me to cover?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What would be the one bit of advice you would give to yourself when you started looking back? What would be one thing you would tell yourself?
When I started, like younger, or like as a rookie?
When you started as a professional, what would be the one thing that you would come back, if you could go back and tell that former self something, what would you tell him?
Oh, shoot. That's a great question. Tough question, but a great question. Oh, shoot. Honestly, I think, like, for me, I wish I just would have, I don't know, like, I guess on not even really a competition level, I wish I would have just put myself out there more, even, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe business wise, like, just like I was pretty kind of closed, and obviously I didn't know people, but, having gotten a little older, and I guess, not being afraid of asking people, I guess not asking people for things, but just trying to, I guess, build sponsors, or build, I guess, a future for myself, whether it was with, paying more attention about this horse, or that product or whatnot. I guess just as a whole doing that. And I guess how you can take it in real life is just trying to just look ahead more, to just, plan more, maybe plan who I was going to rope with next year more, plan, just not being so complacent, I guess, honestly, just for me, because I'm a little like that. I'm more go with the flow, enjoy it, be positive, which I feel like those are kind of my traits, but just not being complacent, trying to think ahead, trying to have a little more eye of the tiger, as far as that way. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
I love it. I love it. And what is one thing that you've learned from your biggest failure?
One thing I've learned from my biggest failure?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot. Honestly, to just let it go. To just let it go. I mean, there's so many things to enjoy in life. There's so many positive, just let it go. It doesn't matter. If it's not life and death, just let it go. Try, if you miss a steer, just forget about it. Have a short memory. Think about catching the last one. You pouting and being a little bitch about it, that's not going to help you, Just be positive, look forward, look ahead, look at what you can do. Yeah, I hope that answered that.
I loved it. I loved it. What is one thing that you've learned in rodeo that you want your children to know?
Children to know? I think just the never give up, I'm fully in attitude, because rodeo's not cheap. It's hard. Obviously you have to love it to do it. And so I think the biggest thing, that it could teach my kids, or I wish it would, and if they want to do it, that's great. I'll support it. If they want to do something else, that's great too. But one thing I can say it taught me is just, if you're in, you're all in. You can't halfway do it. If you're going to halfway do it, don't even bother, because it's not going to be worth it, in my opinion. So yeah, just be all in, and just persevere, and just stay hooked through thick and thin. That's something that I really think has helped me, even business wise, with running the ranch more, and putting on ropings and some of the other things we do at the ranch, or selling horses and stuff, is just you know, you can always figure it out. You know, if you put your mind to it and just stay hooked and realize, you know, this is what I want to do, you know, you can do it. And that's something I really love, that what we do, you know, helps you to learn and to grow, I guess, personally that way.
You're awesome, Quinn. What bit of advice do you have for someone who's starting a business?
Starting a business?
Any venture, business venture, starting a new trade. What bit of advice?
Oh,
shoot.
I'm torn a little. I don't know. I think, I don't know, the biggest thing I've learned is, I don't know, since, I mean, obviously I've kind of always ran the ranch and stuff, but then the last few years, me and my wife, Jessie, you know, have kind of fully taken over with Landon and his wife, you know, as far as doing the books and day-to-day stuff and just everything as a whole, I guess. And I don't know, I think the biggest thing I've learned is just, I mean, for me, because I am kind of a slouch sometimes, it's just details and just trying to, like, if you're not on top of stuff kind of, or looking ahead, you're behind, you know, and just trying to have the drive or the excitement, you know, to just stay ahead, you know. And if you're starting a business, obviously you probably enjoy that, or I would hope, because it, you know, if you enjoy it and it's not just a grind, you actually want to be there doing it, you know, it's going to help you obviously be more productive, more constructive, but it'll also help you get through the bad times just because you enjoyed it, you know, or there's a stack of paperwork and that sucks, but, you know, I enjoy doing this business, or where we're going, or, you know, or what we can do. So yeah, I think just really looking ahead and, you know, planning, not being complacent, trying to, you know, take care of the little details, I think.
I love it. I love it.
You guys, you're all good. You're all good listeners.
Because you're such a good speaker. I love that I mean, we've talked a little bit about, I mean, your journey, because we were in the middle of it, but just hearing your thoughts about everything, because I don't think I've really heard you talk much about what you thought about those years and those experiences. So it was good to hear that.
No, I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad that I got to share with everyone. And honestly, there's few people that, I mean, I know it was kind of brief, you know, and I didn't want to take forever and bore people, but there's few people that I guess know the depth of what I just shared, you know, and my thought process and I guess kind of how it went. So thank you.
You're awesome, Quinn. Thank you. We appreciate you.
No, thank you so much. You guys have a fun evening. Enjoy your time there. That's what it's for.
Good luck this weekend. Good luck.
Okay, thank
Bring
you.
home the money.
We'll see ya. Appreciate it. Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.